The Dresden Files is an ongoing series of urban fantasy novels written by Jim Butcher. They're about the titular Harry Dresden, a wizard who lives in modern-day Chicago and advertises in the phone book. They're significantly influenced by neo-noir films, with most of the books centering around a mystery, with plenty of twists and turns along the way. In the world of the Dresden Files, all myths are real, with a wide variety of creatures like werewolves, fairies, vampires, demons, and eldritch horrors. I'll be taking a broad look at the books and tracking the death toll of each. How many men, women, and creatures are killed in each iteration. Sometimes this will be obvious, and other times only a rough estimate will be possible. This will include any deaths mentioned, not necessarily on screen, as it were. Without any further ado, let's dive into Stormfront, the first novel in the series. It was written as part of a project for a writing class, which Butcher enrolled in after being disappointed with his first few books, which were much more traditional fantasy. He was advised to try something similar to the Anita Blake series, Magic in the Modern Era. He initially considered the idea dull, and wrote it as if some kind of formulaic genre-writing drone, just to prove her how awful it would be. Initially titled Semi-Auto Magic, it evolved quickly into Stormfront. His teacher declared it publishable, and he spent the next few years working on the sequels, and seeking a way to get it released. Finally, Penguin Books, a subsidiary, took a chance on it to relative success. As for the plot of the book itself, after a brief introduction, we find Harry investigating a pair of corpses killed in mid-coitus, with their hearts ripped out. The woman was Jennifer Stanton, a sex worker employed by a vampire. The man was Tommy Tom, an enforcer for the mob. Their connections are established, and there is some early installment weirdness. Murphy, the head of the Special Investigations Unit of Chicago, is extremely antagonistic for the first few books, when later she becomes one of Harry's most trusted and loyal allies. Characters are more caricatures than fully defined, although that's somewhat expected for a first book. Magic and creatures also work slightly different. Vampires are described as creatures of the Never Never, which is effectively the spirit world, but this is retconned later. Harry also begins his B-plot, as Monica Sells tasks him with finding her missing husband. This will, of course, inevitably collide with the main plot. While trying to find the missing link between the two, Harry investigates a vampire called Bianca, who owns a local brothel. He insults her, something he will come to deeply regret in a few books. For now, he finds a clue pointing him to Linda Randall, a driver who used to moonlight as an escort, and was involved with Jennifer and Tommy. After a particularly explosive storm, where Harry is almost killed by a frog demon, he discovers her dead body, heart ripped out just like the others. In his investigations, he is attacked by an unknown man a few times, although he finally is able to track him down, and discovers that Marcone, the local crime boss, has a traitor in his organization. He has the unfortunate nickname of Gimpy Lawrence, and when his double dealings are revealed, he's gunned down, and all evidence burned. Marcone establishes himself as a man who does not take kindly to anyone moving on his territory, in any way. The book also goes a little bit into Harry's backstory, and we learn that his mother died during childbirth, and his father died soon after, seemingly from natural causes, so that's 2 more for the count. Near the end of the book, it's revealed that his client's missing husband, Victor Sells, has also been the one responsible for the murders. It's also revealed that a clue he was given earlier, a small scorpion statue, was a booby trap, as it grows to massive size and attacks him and Murphy in his office. While the cramped environment makes his preferred weapon of fire unavailable, he crushes the bug using the elevator and a large gust of wind. That goes on the count as well, as it's basically a living creature. While tussling with that, Murphy is stung badly and nearly dies, but is whisked away to the hospital and has a full recovery in the epilogue. A storm is brewing, however, so Harry has to run off and deal with Sells before he can conduct another ritual, with Harry as the target, and he can't use magic to actively kill the man. It flouts one of the 7 laws that are effectively death sentences, if they're broken. Harry gets there just in time, breaking into Sells' lakeside house and accidentally starting a fire. The demon from earlier is summoned up, but Harry manages to gain the upper hand, pitting his brain against the brawn of Victor. Sells summons up half a dozen enormous scorpions, but loses control of them, resulting in both him and the demon being executed by their skittering claws. It's possible that some of the scorpions die in the blaze, but it's inconclusive enough they don't get added to the death toll. Harry himself is able to escape only through the timely intervention of Morgan, a warden who is effectively his probation officer, and a hostile presence throughout the story. He pulls him out of the burning building and even testifies on his behalf to the White Council, the ruling body for wizards. In total, 9 people and magical creatures were killed in Stormfront. 7 humans, 3 female and 2 male, 1 scorpion, and 1 froggy demon. The book is the shortest of the series at 148 pages, which means there is a death on average of 16.4 pages. Overall, Stormfront is clearly a first novel. The text communicates the story but does little else. Characters wear emotions on their sleeves, and deeper motivations are difficult to find. There's also very little fluff, which is a good and bad thing. It moves at nearly a breakneck pace from one event directly into another, without much time to breathe. The mechanics of how magic work are explained, albeit in not much detail. Many first entries in a series like this can get bogged down in exactly how the supernatural elements work, and Stormfront at least avoids that pitfall. As the series goes on, we'll track which book has the most and fewest acts of lethal violence, but with reasonable certainty I can say that Stormfront has the least. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are about this series, and if you want to see more like this, interact with it. Like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you, and as always, be well.